Hello, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. Hopefully, you're having a great day today. And today, this podcast is just going to be a rabbit hole. I'm just going to speak my mind. I'm just going to talk. And then that's what the name of the podcast is, Jay Talks. But I'm going to preface the podcast by saying what I always say: if you're a Democrat, don't bother commenting in my comment section because you're probably just going to get deleted, or I'm going to say something to make you mad further, and it's just not worth it to you. You're a baby killer, and our conversation stops right there. Period. I have no respect for baby killers, and um, so if you're a Republican, if you're a libertarian, if you're a conservative, go ahead and make comments. And if you want to come on the show anytime, we'll get you in here via Teams or some other platform and let you speak your mind. And I'd love for you to do that. So we're gonna preface today's we're gonna have a theme on today's podcast, and it comes from the great philosopher Mike Tyson. He says, "Everyone has a plan till they get punched in the mouth." And man, isn't that so true? You know, I used to have a plan in life, and I got punched in the mouth a few times. I think if people really knew who I was, in my past. I mean, I'm 60 years old now, but I've had a past, of course. I've been punched in the mouth a few times. And you know what I've learned from it is I tell the truth. And there's something to be said about life experiences when you get punched in the mouth. The problem today is people are not getting punched in the mouth enough. And who am I talking about? I'm talking about the people who can go on the Sunday morning shows, the news shows, and just blatantly lie about their intentions. The Democrat politicians that go on all these news shows, and you can hear them, I hear their shriek. They hate you. They hate me. They hate you. They hate America. And they will lie to get it. They're kind of like the Muslims who will lie as long as it's okay to lie as long as you get something out of it. And that's what the Muslims believe. And that's why they can't be trusted at all. Um, so let me go into this real quick. And I read this book a long time ago, and I've kind of revamped it lately and been reading it. It's The Art of War by Sun Tzu. And if you haven't read this book, get this book because it really does uh, open your eyes to the battle that we're facing today, and maybe it'll give you some encouragement. But this sentence right here and this statement right here kind of sums up the whole book. He says, "If you know your enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles." What's he trying to say? He's trying to say you got to know your enemy and you have to know yourself, and you'll be victorious every time. If you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will also suffer a defeat. You'd be about 50-50 in your battles. This one right here is really important. If you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. You'll lose every battle. And what he's saying was that unless you know your capabilities and what you're willing to sacrifice, don't go into battle. Don't even worry about going into battle because you will lose. You have to know your enemy, you have to know their background, and you have to know yourself and what you're capable of and what you're willing to sacrifice. Now, I've been punched in the mouth a lot, like I said, and it's really taught me a lot. And what I've come to know is that do your research about your enemy. I sit here all day, and there's a group of organizers that we organize, not online, not on our phones or anything like that. We're live in the community. There's a big group of us that, and I know there's other groups out there for fact because I've been contacted by them that are organizing that know things that they're not willing to divulge. Why would you divulge what you know? And Sun Tzu talks about that too. Um, you can share your thoughts and your research with your friends, but don't share it with everybody. The people that I organize with, it's a large group, a very large group, and these are the people that I would go into battle for. These are the people that won't hesitate to punch somebody in the mouth. And I like these people. I trust these people. And I've got friends that aren't even a part of this group simply because when it comes down to it, they would not make a sacrifice. They don't know themselves, they don't know what they're capable of, and they're not willing to sacrifice. So, I said on my other podcast, the one a few weeks ago, that if you're not willing to make that sacrifice, if all you want to do is hide behind your keyboard, then just get offline. Quit taking up airways for for other people. You're just confusing everybody else. Don't do it. And you have to be willing to take and make sacrifices. That's all there is to it. I'm going to see if I can't go into my Facebook real quick. I want to get you uh, let you listen to this guy right here, who's just an amazing guy. I really respect him a lot, and let's see if we can't bring him up here. Let's see. Yeah, let me let you listen. This is Wade Renfrew, and we're friends on Facebook and everything. And man, he makes a lot of sense. If I can kind of blow him up here a little bit, let me let you listen to Wade. And this guy speaks truth. He's not afraid to speak the truth, and he's done his research, and he's not afraid to talk. And I really respect him. And if you would follow him on Facebook, and there's a lot of other people that you can follow, but get yourself a group of friends on Facebook that you can listen to, who speak the truth and who aren't afraid to speak the truth. Let me let you listen to Wade here.
Do you guys remember Irina Zarutska? She was the Ukrainian refugee that was stabbed to death on a city train in Charlotte, North Carolina for the crime of coming home from work. The man walked up behind her and stabbed her and jumped up cheering, "I got that white girl, I got that white girl, I got that white girl." Well, it comes to find out that he was on bail. He was a repeat offender on bail, a repeat violent offender on bail. So my question for my white liberal friends out there, where is your empathy for her? And don't pretend like you have any, because you don't, because you're freaking completely ignoring it. The reason you don't have empathy for her is because she's not the right flavor of immigrant. Because if a white Trump supporter wearing a MAGA hat had done the same thing to a Somali immigrant in Minneapolis, you'd be burning down his fucking neighborhood. And you know you would. But see, this is what happens when you become the very racist that you say you hate. When you measure everything good and virtuous based on its distance and proximity from whiteness, then all you see is skin color. The first thing you see when you judge somebody is their skin color. You don't see their character. You don't see their potential. You don't see what they provide. You don't see any of that. You just see what color they are, and then try to come to some conclusion of intersectionality. You are the very racist that you say that you're fighting against, because this woman, the demographic of this particular woman, does not satisfy your suicidal need to appear empathetic above all else. And I'm going to tell you something right now. I've lived in the state of North Carolina for about the past 5 years, and the black community of the state of North Carolina has a hell of a lot more common sense than you, the white liberal, give them credit for. Because they do not want that son of a bitch walking around their neighborhood. They don't want somebody that dangerous walking around so they can do it again. But you guys, you put yourselves up on this white savior pedestal so that you can look down on the immigrant and the black community and the African American community and tell them what's good for them while taking away their individuality, because all you see is a collection of colors. You are the most racist people in Western society.
Yeah, Wade makes a lot of sense right there. And That is so true. White liberal women have been codgeled for so long, they don't know the danger. They don't understand the danger. Wait till they get punched in the mouth. They'll change their attitude, and it happens every time. I've got past friends, not friends now, who were typical white liberal women who, yeah, we would cut up and everything, and they would tell me how much they hate Trump and all this and that. And ultimately, when they got punched in the mouth, they changed their attitude, didn't they? Yeah. You wait till they get raped by an illegal. You wait till they get, robbed and or get pushed out of housing or lose all their benefits and everything else that has enclosed them, that has uh made them their little sphere. And wait till all that is gone, then they'll wake up and they'll stop the nonsense. It's the same way with Democrats. It's the exact same thing with Democrats. I don't blame the Democrat, the person, the average person on the street that you might meet, because they've been lied to. And these people, in their mind, they're simple minded enough and they're meek minded enough that they follow the lies. They believe the lies. It takes a lot of strength and it takes a lot of courage to believe that two and two is four. And it's so much easier to believe that two and two is five if it's coming from a celebrity, if it's coming from someone who's well spoken, if it's coming from somebody, an actor, and if it's coming from a politician that's been in office forever and everything. You know what? It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And until these people get punched in the mouth, they're not going to wake up. They're not going to realize it. And they're always going to go through with their plan. I've done a lot of research on the Democrat Socialist of America, and I'm not going to go into what I've done for the research. But um, it's a disgusting organization. You really got to drill down to where these people are, and you really got to do the backstories and everything. And um, DSA, there's basically two founders of it. Um, there's the um, Ramona, Ramona, I think is her name. Um, she lives in Louisiana, and you know what? I wanted to bring up some stuff and some files that I've got saved and everything, but I'm not even going to. Look up these people. They're disgusting people. Their failures in their own lives. This Ashika Shadiq, that's one of them, and this Ramon girl, whatever. She lives in Louisiana. I don't see how she's still down there. I don't see how the people of Louisiana, which I thought were Republicans, can even allow this to exist down there. She works down there. She works in a kitchen at St. Joseph, and there's just so much I could go into about that and about the Catholic Charities. It's part of the Catholic Charities, and who was the biggest provider of bringing people over from the border, the biggest NGO, Catholic Charities, and she works directly for them. They're well funded outside, and I've done a ton of research on that and who those people are. And those people hadn't been smacked in the mouth either. They are executing their plan to destroy this country. What I've worked for, what you've worked for, what our forefathers worked for, paid taxes and built, it does not matter to them. They're willing to tear it all down in the name of socialism. And it's got to stop, people. When does it stop? That's what I mean. If you're not willing to go into the battle, if you're not willing to make sacrifices, and you know your limitations, you know what you're capable of, and unwilling to make sacrifice, stop talking. I'm tired of hearing people, and I'm tired of hearing Republicans at this doing this. I'm tired of Republicans talking and nobody in handcuffs. I'm tired of Republicans talking and my tax dollars haven't changed. I'm tired of Republicans talking about this law was broken and that law was broken and nothing happens. Nobody's in handcuffs. It's really disappointing. Um, and you can't, you, you know, you can't blame your average Democrat that might live in your town because they're just weak-minded people, and Democrats know how to talk to them. So, yeah, we've gone down the rabbit hole enough for today, and guys, just keep this in mind. Keep that book in mind. Get that book and read that book, and know your enemy, and educate yourself. I don't know what you guys do all day. You sit at home, you want to watch TV all day, you want to maybe, I know a lot of people have jobs, and they come home from their jobs, and they're tired and they want to sit down and watch TV and everything, and that's cool. But in your spare time, don't just scroll on your phone. Do some research and get to know your enemy. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.